How about those Seahawks? I'm taking all questions about them. And I saw 2 plays, the last 2, and they just always figure out a way.
Up 7, go for 2.
I didn't get that far. All I know is a good last 2 plays, and they always figure out a way.
What did you think of the Gronk Cam? Did you think that was PI on Cam in the end zone there?
From what I saw, I thought it was a pretty good no call. You know, I mean, it was kind of both ways, and there was nothing blatant. That's my 2 cents on officiating. Yeah. So anyways, game, you know, again, played a good football team. We really did. And when you play a team that's that good, you're going to need to have your fastball going and on all phases, and we obviously didn't. We had some chances on offense where we just could not strike, and a little bit of protection stuff. You know, we had a chance, a handful of plays. It could have been big plays, could have been explosives, and we couldn't get it done. I thought, you know, when Taylor Rapp got a second interception there in the red zone, I think it was 17-13, and we got nothing done there except a field goal blocked. That was tough to overcome. I thought our defense in the second half played really, really well. I thought they played well in the first half, except for the drive right before half, where they kind of went in their 2-minute offense and hit some explosives and moved the ball down there. That was really the only series that our defense didn't really play at a high level. But again, I think USC is a really good team, and you know, they were better than us.
What did you see happen on the block kick? I mean, it just
they timed the ball being snapped, and they you know, they had a little way to kind of crease us and hold a guy, and you know, in probably a legal way, and you know, they did a good job on it. Yep.
Chris, with the timing snaps, especially on their offense, were there? I know they got 4 or 5 false starts anyways, but were they doing some things? Were they trying to time it in such a way? Because it certainly looked like there was a number of
time what
their snaps on offense. Because it looked like there was maybe a lot of other opportunities where maybe they were trying to get out just a touch early before the snap, or were doing something.
Well, yeah, I don't know about that. I just think that you know, when you're going on a completely silent snap count, and sometimes the guys on the edges, you know, can't see as well because you got to keep your eye on the ball and your guy. You know, sometimes it's not all everybody getting off on the same page, if that's what you're asking.
Right. I just was curious if you had seen something where it was maybe part of a plan or part of a system that maybe the official didn't call as much as they could potentially.
We always have a handful of things every game that we kind of think, but part of the game.
Is Saturday going to be a positive for you guys?
What's that?
Is Saturday be a positive for you guys, kind of moving forward?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think that's ever going to be a positive. I mean, I like where your mind's at, Softy, which it's usually not there, but appreciate that. Yeah, we should just talk about that. You're right. I mean, we do just need to respond. You know, we need to learn from it. We need to respond. You know, it could be. I mean, you know, sometimes everything goes really well for you in a season, and it's like it doesn't always go like that. And you know, I've been saying it all along. I mean, I just really believe on any given night in this league, who we play, who we are, we could get knocked off. And you know, it's easy to say those things, and just because you're at home and have a fabulous crowd and all that, that's not gonna. You're not gonna win unless you have that and you play at a high level. And so, you know, I hope you know, our guys have a new edge to them a little bit, but I do think that they've done a good job all season long, like I've been saying, about preparing and all that stuff. And I mean, we're not. I mean, they played hard. I mean, our both sides played really, really hard. I mean, it wasn't about that at all. You just got to you know, there's certain components that have to come with this, and at the end of the day, you got to execute at a high level, complete balls, pass protect, all those type of things, and it just wasn't quite good enough. Yeah, so he got surgery yesterday, but you know, it's okay. I mean, it's not going to be a real long-term thing. It's not, you know, it's a bone, and those things will heal quickly, and you know, I don't know exactly what the timeline is, but you know, it's probably as good as it could be in terms of all those things.
Possible to get him back for a bowl game?
I don't know anything about that. I mean, I know he had surgery, so you know, I don't know.
The leg or the ankle?
Leg, yeah. So really, it was, when it was all said and done, it was actually probably more positive than we were first thinking. You know, sometimes when going into surgery and all that, it's all this other kind of stuff, but it was pretty straightforward from what I understand.
What do you think of DJ Beavers filling for him?
Yeah, I think, you know, I think he filled in, you know, pretty well. You know, he's made some tackles, played aggressive, played tough, was not like, you know, it's hard when you lose a player like Azim for sure, but it's not like, you know, this, oh, now we have no chance type thing. I mean, he was right there playing physical like a linebacker should, and he's got a lot of good reps throughout the season, and now he's going to get a lot more.
Does that kind of feel like the plan for now with Azim out, or is there a chance that you could maybe slide Ben Burke into that spot, or does that even make any sense?
Yeah, I think, you know, Coach Gregory kind of cross-trains all those guys, and it's been kind of a nice, easy rotation and rhythm for most of the season. So now we're kind of down a guy, so that might change a little bit and get all those guys a little bit more playing time. But I think, yeah, I think we're still kind of putting that plan together.
Chris, when you look at the kind of the play calling and the balance and getting behind, is it just tough to reestablish the run again, or what did you see?
You know, I think after we had that, after we got stopped, you know, in the red zone, and you know, now we're trying to make it back up and get some things going and throw the ball. You know, sometimes it's nice to be able to stay in your comfort zone of having balance and all those type of things. And certainly, you know, later in the fourth quarter when we were down, I think it was 2 scores, you're throwing the ball more than you'd like to throw, and it doesn't feel like your normal rhythm and all those things. And they pin their ears back a little bit more, makes the protection hard. Jake's kind of running around, and that's not what you like to do. But, you know, we didn't capitalize enough early on to get ourselves in that situation. So, you know, I think we definitely felt like we were out of our rhythm a bit.
Historically, even at Boise, when these games come in November and you're in the crunch time, do you get the sense that these games really just are a lot more physical than maybe the games earlier in the season, or they're decided by maybe more of what happens in the trenches than earlier?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that it was certainly a physical game. I mean, those are 2 big, you know, offensive lines and 2 physical defenses for sure. They were playing really, really hard. You know, I just know in this last month of football, you know, kids, especially, I mean, even last year, I mean, the kids were playing really, really hard, which is awesome because, like I said, I mean, it's a lot of reps under our belt, a lot of practice time, and you know, just proud of how hard they're playing. Yeah.
What was the sense you got from the team yesterday? Practice?
I didn't really get a sense. I mean, it's exactly like I thought. You know, I mean, it is what it is, and our thing is to learn from this and then respond. And I mean that 100%. I mean, what do we learn from this game? You know, what did each guy learn? What do we take from that? And then let's go respond and be better for it. I mean, that's all we can do.
Were you surprised that both of USC's lines appeared to be stronger and quicker?
I knew they were going to be. I knew they were going to be physical. I mean, I wasn't. No, you know, I didn't know how that whole thing would play out, but I knew this is a good football team. This is USC, you know, and they're huge, and they got, you know, I mean, they talk about it SC, and so, even being on the lower end of the scoring, you know, I kind of heard some people saying, "Oh, this is gonna be a high." I didn't think that. I thought it would be on the lower end of scoring type thing. So, and a lot of times that starts with the lines.
You mentioned after the game Saturday that if you look down the horizon, you can hit the ice.
Yeah.
Did you kind of notice any point in time last week where maybe guys were starting to drift a little bit in that regard and not?
No, I didn't feel that. But it's hard to really know. But I didn't like feel that from our team or anything like that. But it's, there's just so much talk for so long that, it can happen. But I didn't feel like that. I think, yes, like I've been saying, USC is a really good team that played really well up here in a hard environment and did a really good job.
Chris, when you look at the injuries to Victor and then Mathis, obviously your pass rusher, that's been the same since he went out. In year 3 here for you, for the big picture, is it just hard where this program is to absorb? Look, anyone, their star defensive players get hurt, it's going to hurt their program. But are you still building to the point where you're going to have that kind of quality depth where you can absorb those injuries that are kind of inherent?
Yeah. I don't know if anyone does that. Yeah. Maybe Alabama. I don't know. I think every coach in America, for the most part, you get a really good player and you lose them. It's, you might have a really good young player, but they're just not there. And so, I don't know if you ever get there.
What did you think of the way the secondary played Saturday?
I thought they played pretty good, again, because, you're talking about some really skilled guys out there that they're going against. And, I thought our defense, like I said, for the most part, played pretty well. Just that one drive, they got the 2-minute rhythm going and got us a little bit. But I thought for the most part, they slowed them down, which is I think it's a pretty high powerful, high potent offense. And so I thought, I think guys did a pretty good job.
Chris, being relatively young, with only 9, 10 seniors, is this the point of the season now where you really get to see how the youngsters matured and how they handle this kind of adversity?
Well, those guys have been getting some playing time all throughout the year, so you don't really think of those guys so much anymore as really young guys, and certainly like a guy like DJ Beavers. He's been playing a lot, and now he's going to get more playing time, and so it's kind of a transition, however that happens. I just think you kind of look around the country. I know there's, handful of games where this guy's out, that guy's out. It's been such a stalwart for different teams. That's just kind of how it goes, and you just got to be prepared. You hope it's later than sooner for sure, and not at all. But a lot of times that's not how it goes.
Anything jump out to you watching the film about Darnold that maybe you didn't pick up on the sideline? He seemed especially poised for a younger player.
There was nothing that we had tremendous respect for him going in and played good.
Did you see anything about Jake's awareness that was a little different? Was he more preoccupied with the rush and perhaps missing opportunities?
I don't think he's more preoccupied. They rushed just a little bit better than maybe some other people did. But Jake's pretty good about buying time and getting out of the pocket and those type of things. And so I think he was doing his deal. I don't think our protection was as good as it has been overall. And then towards the end, like I say, you kind of get into that, trying to make some stuff happen. And that kind of never really goes great.
Chris, looking forward to ASU, how has their quarterback situation maybe changed their identity offensively?
Yeah, it's hard to know. Still kind of looking at that and figuring that out. Again, I think they recruit certain type quarterbacks to that system. So, but they played 3 different guys, and anytime you're playing a bunch of quarterbacks, I don't think anybody likes that. But I think they got really good quality there. I do, and they all seem like they know what the heck they're doing back there and where to go with the ball. That offense is a pretty wide open offense and creative and all those type of things. And they got some explosive players. It's, it's kind of the same thing every week. It's just a new set of problems, how you're going to deal with them. And
played a number of teams that
yep.
their offense readily identifiable or comparable to any other teams you've played.
They've kind of always had their unique stamp on it. It's kind of a power spread type team, more of run the ball with the run pass option type things. Really, again, it's very Southern Miss-ish. This is where the coordinator came from. There's a lot of similarities there.
With their kind of exotic lift packages, there's no secret of what they're going to do.
Well, there's a secret, because you just don't know what's coming when and all those type of things. And that's what's hard because they blow things up. They're really good against the run because they got some really good players up front, and they're moving and all those type of things. And so it's hard to kind of know. And then, you got to be able to pick things up. And if you can do those type of things, it's like any blitzing. When you blitz, and if you can pick it up, then there's a lot of space and DBs have to cover. And so it's always that cat-mouse game.
Are you as concerned facing them at home as you are on the road when it comes to the sign stealing tactics and stuff that's being talked about down there?
We always have a plan for everything. Yeah.
Sort of stuff in terms of it being ethical.
Yeah, it is what you can pick off signals. That's the bottom line. You can look over there and do all that stuff, so you got to be prepared to deal with it.
Chris, to the amateur eye, which I guess is me, it looks like Jake has had a couple of balls underthrown. Maybe some receivers kind of waiting on balls.
Yeah.
Is that a concern at all for you? Or?
Well, I think it's John Ross a little bit that he is waiting on, and that guy, has to wait on a lot of deep balls. He's pretty fast. And so, yeah, you'd like to, but the problem is they're usually deeper drops, giving John more time to get out there. Then you're trying to throw it with a little bit of air to give him a chance. And so, those deep balls are hard to throw on time. There's nothing prettier than a deep ball that hits a guy in stride and he doesn't, and we've done that a couple times. But that is really hard to do. And yeah, if we could have got the ball out there, that's one of those explosives that we were talking about. Had we been able to connect and really been on, it could be game changing. And other than that, it's game changing for them because they just stopped it was going to be a big play. And it was a big play one way or another for them to stop that. So, yeah.
How would you characterize the emotion right now in the locker room? Are they upset? Are they determined?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see when we go to work tomorrow. Yeah, I expect these guys to. There's just so much football. The nice thing is it's just like everything we talk about. If you're just so disappointed because of this loss with all this football left to be played, then you've been in the wrong locker room. You haven't been hearing a word that we've been talking about. There's a lot of football left and awesome things to play for and all that stuff. So I don't know what we're talking about other than let's just learn and regroup and respond and let's go play and get a chance to play at home and senior night and all those type of things. And so do we want those guys really excited about last week's game? No, obviously. Do we want them with a little bit irritated attitude that it didn't go? Yeah, so it's that type of thing. And these guys will be fine in terms of coming out and going to work, but it's time to work through it.
Have you heard anything from the players, especially with Darrell and Kevin being two of the captains, to maybe playing for the seniors and kind of taking them out the right way?
Yeah, we haven't really got into that. I think all the guys pay attention to that as, we start to talk about that. Yesterday's always about putting the last game kind of rest, watching it, analyzing it, detailing it. We don't really talk about the next opponent till we see these guys, tomorrow.
Jake said after the game he's going to prepare as hard as he's ever prepared for the ASU game. Do you ever get concerned about him maybe putting in too much work and too much analysis and all that stuff?
No. And I just kind of take that with a grain of salt anyways. He always prepares really, really hard. So we just need to have him keep doing what he's been doing and he'll be fine. Yep.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.